All right, so we're getting ready to step outside. Good morning. It was a very rough night. It's 3:40 in the morning, my time, and let's go grab a cup of tea and make our way to a national park. Um, Keep looking for this entrance to the dark forest. Let's go. Leaving the Airbnb feels a little like stepping out of the modern world and into the mystical story. We're driving 8 miles north of Glastonbury, and everything's starting to change. The trees are getting thicker and the land steeper. We're heading to Ybor Gorge, one of those hidden places that still feels untouched, like a piece of an older world. In the Arthurian legends, each knight had to follow their own way into the forest, where there was no path to follow. And when you get close to the gorge, you understand why they would tell it that way. It's not about getting somewhere, it's about what you're willing to face when there is no path. So we're descending into the gorge. Whoa, that was close. Some incredible, beautiful old trees. A lot of density. It is autumn after all, but still quite impressive. This is starting to look promising. We're just at the entrance. This is about an hour's walk. So we're starting our descent or walk around. But this is looking more like what we're looking for. Let's see if we have better luck than yesterday. Wow, so I found this incredible patch. Doesn't look like the entrance to the forest itself that we're looking for, but it's quite extraordinary with all the leaves. Every time a little gust of wind comes, you can see the leaves dropping on the floor. A family just walked down with their kids and they were playing catching the leaves with their hands. It was one of the most poetic things I've seen in my life, having this experience with nature. It was unexpected and beautiful to watch. So I'm gonna try to get some images here. It's almost overwhelming, the sensation of colors and textures and magic. It's not the entrance to the forest I had envisioned, but it's certainly a place to spend some time contemplating, meditating, and certainly photographing. It's fascinating to document the journey. Many times with my collectors, when I tell them the story of how the piece came to be, they buy it, they love it, And tell me, man, you gotta come for dinner because we tried to tell the story the way you did, and it was not the same experience. It's not exactly the reason why I'm doing this, because this is not gonna accompany the piece itself. But it is important to share the creative process, not just the end result. And I think it brings a lot of value for collectors. It brings us together, and also the thought process and the reflections along the way. A lot of time spent alone making these trips and documenting them. When I went to Iceland to document the glacier meltwater, it was a week waiting to see the right day to fly on a helicopter. Another week in Venice documenting the historical floods, which was a perfect segue. It's a lot of planning and trying and failing, I guess. Failing's not the right word. Looking for the right aesthetic, visual communication of the idea, of the concept. In the end, what we're doing is conceptual art, right? Even though the original definition is that the concept is more important than the art itself, I disagree. I think the concept is as important as the skill itself in creating a visually stunning or emotionally compelling image. So that's what we do. That's what we look for. Something that communicates visually a deep idea that stimulates us intellectually. And that's what we're doing now. So this is pretty much what I was looking for. A denser forest, a forest that invites you, but also invites you not to go in. We're in the middle of the gorge. Just came down from this steep climb, and I can see the top a few hundred meters up ahead. But this elevation is ideal, I think, because it's very dense. Still a lot of leaves, even though it's autumn. But the colors are incredible. I'm envisioning the art piece in black and white, but still we're going to have a tonality of grays. So it's important to have a vision of what the art piece is going to look like. So this is going to be a light box. It's going to be black and white, and it's going to have text. And so the image that I'm looking for has to fit or be useful for that purpose. That's the end. That's the end application of the image. So it's not just a pretty picture, a picture of a forest. It has to be able to tell the story in that format, and that's what I'm looking for. So it's not rocket science, but it's not nothing either. I'm going to take some pictures looking in that direction. I took a few on the way coming up here. Probably going to take some more over there and share some of the process later on what we're capturing on the way. That's nice. So I'm looking at the light parts of the image, how that's going to light up on the light box. So I do want some sky, so it's darkest from the bottom and clearest at the top, but not too much, that the backlight goes through more than it has to. It all makes sense here, believe me. So why give so much importance to these legends? Aren't legends just legends? We live in myths, and these myths create our reality. So what seems like these faraway stories of ancient times are really talking about the human condition with universal truths, and they impact the way we think. That's why I take some of them on for creating my work, because I think these are concepts that are so powerful that they deserve to be put on a frame and be hung on our walls, because they guide us, they remind us, they give value, they give us perspective. I don't do art just for the aesthetics of it. I love aesthetics, but when you have a powerful story, well, first a visually compelling image that hits you in the gut, that moves your emotions because you find it, I don't know, fascinating and thrilling, beautiful, or hideous, but it touches your sensory, it gives you a sensory experience. That's step one. And then when we kind of finish that circle, telling you what it represents, what story is telling, and that engages your intellect and your imagination, then we have a powerful work of art, in my opinion. Stories is what makes art extraordinary. La Piedad by Michelangelo is extraordinary in its execution, but the story is heartbreaking. The mother holding her dead son's corpse in her arms. Daphne's final metamorphosis into the laurel tree as she's being chased by Apollo. That story, as depicted in the sculpture in the Borghese Gardens by Bernini, it's extraordinary. The sculpture itself, you can see the branches coming out of her fingers turning into leaves, and her feet are becoming bark as he's trying to possess her. It is the story and the skill of the artist. So if it's just pure artist skill, well, good for you. If it's a powerful story but it's not well told, misses the mark. I assert that what moves us in the art that moves us is equal parts a great story, very well told. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I just had to stop and share with you this incredible tree. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Hear the birds. Look at the colors. Wow. 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 Oh, that was a nice walk. It's time to take off the jacket, get into the warm car. Yeah. And drive to a nice place to have a warm breakfast. Whew. getting in the car after a meal. That took a long time, but it was delicious. And we got 2-hour drive to our next destination to look for forests in that part of the UK. So the way we built this route is did a lot of research on where are the areas where the forests that held the stories of the Knights of the Round Table could have been. And so near Glastonbury is one, and now we're making our way east, and I'll tell you tomorrow where we arrive. Long drive, gotta pay attention, and I'll see you tomorrow.